Welcome to Math with Mr. J.
In this video, I'm going to cover how to convert between liters and milliliters. So liters to milliliters and then milliliters to liters. Now, one thing to keep in mind, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. We need this information in order to convert. Let's jump into number 1, where we have 8 liters equals how many milliliters? Well, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So we have 1,000 milliliters, 1,000 milliliters, 1,000 milliliters 8 times. In other words, 8 times 1,000. So we have 8,000 milliliters here. 8 liters equals 8,000 milliliters. So when we go from liters to milliliters, we multiply by 1,000. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 71 and 46 hundredths, or 71.46 liters, equals how many milliliters? Now, this number is not as easy to work with as the 8 liters in number 1. We were able to use mental math for number 1. For number 2, we still need to multiply by 1,000 because we're going from liters to milliliters. When we multiply something by 1,000, we can actually make this really simple. All we need to do is move the decimal 3 times to the right. When we multiply something by 1,000, each digit of that number shifts 3 places to the left. The value of the number increases by 1,000. In other words, we multiplied by 1,000. So technically, the digits shift or move and increase in value. But let's make this simple and move the decimal in order to push all of our digits to the correct place, so to speak. So again, move the decimal 3 times to the right when we multiply by 1,000. So let's rewrite 71 and 46 hundredths here and move the decimal once, twice, and 3 times to the right. Fill this gap with a 0, and our answer is 71,460. So 71.46 liters equals 71,460 milliliters. Let's see if that works for number 1 as well as far as moving the decimal. So let me rewrite 8, and the decimal goes after a whole number. Let's move it once, twice, and 3 times to the right. Fill the gaps with zeros, and we get 8,000 that way as well. So to recap, when we go from liters to milliliters, we multiply by 1,000. And we can do that by moving the decimal 3 times to the right. Let's move on to number 3, where we have 13,000 milliliters equals how many liters? Well, each group of 1,000 milliliters equals a liter. So we need to think, how many groups of 1,000 are in 13,000? Meaning 13,000 divided by 1,000. That gives us 13. So 13,000 milliliters equals 13 liters. So when we go from milliliters to liters, we divide by 1,000. Let's move on to number 4, where we have 289 milliliters equals how many liters? So milliliters to liters, we divide by 1,000. Now this number isn't as easy to work with as the 13,000 in number 3. We used mental math for number 3. For number 4, what we can do, we can move the decimal 3 times to the left. When we divide by 1,000, we push each digit to the right 3 places. This will give us 1/1000th the value of our original number, meaning we're dividing by 1,000. We can do this by just, again, moving the decimal 3 times to the left. So 289, decimal goes at the end of a whole number. So once, twice, and then 3 times to the left. So the decimal is going to go in front of the 2. I'm going to put a 0 here to show that we do not have any whole numbers. So we get 289 thousandths, or 0.289. So 289 milliliters equals 0.289 liters. Now that answer is less than 1 whole, because if you think about it, we need 1,000 milliliters to equal a liter. And we don't have 1,000 milliliters there. We have less than 1,000. So we have less than a whole liter. Now, one more thing I do want to mention is the abbreviation for liter. We use a capital L. You'll normally see lowercase letters for abbreviations when it comes to units of measurement. For example, gram, we use a lowercase g. In the case of liter, we use an uppercase L. That way, we do not confuse a lowercase l with a 1. For example, 1 liter, if we were to write 1 liter and use a lowercase l, that looks like 11. So that's why we use the uppercase L when it comes to liters. So there you have it. There's how you convert between liters and milliliters. So when we go from liters to milliliters, multiply by 1,000. And we can do that by moving the decimal 3 times to the right. When we go from milliliters to liters, we divide by 1,000. And we can do that by moving the decimal 3 times to the left. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to cover how to convert customary units of capacity. So fluid ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. And along the left-hand side of your screen, we have 7 practice conversions that we're going to go through together in order to get this down. Now up top in blue, we have some notes that we're going to reference in order to do these conversions. Now over in the blank area on the right side of your screen, I'm going to take those notes up top and create another way of putting the notes that I think is more helpful, but you can decide and use it if you'd like. So again, these notes up top, or I'm going to draw something else that may be helpful to you. So we're going to start, and I would suggest you draw this out with me. If you find it helpful, then great, you can use it with your conversions. So we're going to draw a big G. And that G represents 1 gallon. So 1 gallon here. Next, we're going to draw 4 Q's. That represents 4 quarts equaling 1 gallon. So 4 Q's to fill that gallon. Yours is probably going to be neater than mine. So next, in each quart, we need 2 pints. So 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 8 pints fills 1 gallon, or equals 1 gallon. Next, we need 2 cups in each pint. So we're going to put C's in each pint. So a cup, if you can think back to your kitchen, and a measuring cup, one cup, and how many of those it would take to fill a gallon. So think of a gallon of milk. We would need 16 cups to fill a gallon. Now lastly, we have 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. Now that's just going to get too small to put 8 fluid ounces in each of those C's, so we are going to leave that one out of this here. So let's go into some conversions. And again, some people prefer to look at notes like the notes up top, and some people prefer to look at the G and then what fills that gallon. So as we go through, you can use both or use whatever you prefer. So number one, 2 gallons equals how many pints? So the first thing we need to do, how many pints in 1 gallon? So if we take a look, we have 8 pints in 1 gallon. So that means there's 16 pints in 2 gallons. So 2 times 8. Number 2, 6 quarts equals how many pints? So in each Q or each quart, there are 2 pints. So we want 6 of those. So 6 times 2 gives us 12 pints. Number 3, 3 gallons equals how many quarts? There are 4 quarts in 1 gallon, so we need to do 3 gallons times 4, which gives us 12 quarts. So 3 gallons equals 12 quarts. Again, 4 quarts in 1, so there would be 12 in 3, or 3 times 4. Number 4, 24 fluid ounces equals how many cups? So if we take a look up here, we know that 8 fluid ounces creates 1 cup. So we need to split this 24 fluid ounces into groups of 8. Each one of those groups of 8 is a cup. So we need to do 24 divided by 8. And that's going to give us 3 cups. Number 5. 5 pints equals how many cups? So let's take a look. There are 2 cups in 1 pint. So we need to find out how many in 5. So we could do 5 times 2. That gives us 10 cups. Number 6. 8 cups equals how many fluid ounces? All right, so there are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So we have 8 groups of that 8 fluid ounces. So 8 times 8. That's going to give us 64 fluid ounces. Again, 1 cup has 8 fluid ounces. So we have 8 of them. So 8, 8, 8, 8 times. So we would do 8 times 8, and that equals 64. Number 7, 32 pints equals how many gallons? There are 8 pints in 1 gallon. So we need to split this 32 pints into groups of 8. Each one of those groups of 8 is 1 gallon. So we need to do 32 divided by 8, which gives us 4 gallons. So there you have it. There are some customary units of capacity conversions, and along with some notes that I hope were helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.